This is Podcast Satellite. This is Prince Hanley coming to you with 100,000 watts of pure love. I've got some good news for you today. I've got suggestions for Israel's military and government today, specific ones. I have prophecies currently being fulfilled today, investment news for the enlightened with two companies that I think are worthy of looking at, and I have suggestions for any nut terrorist, plus specific suggestions for the United Nations. Let's get started with Israel Hezbollah. Kidnapped IDF reservists Eldad Regev and Ehud Goldwasser will be released only when all Hezbollah prisoners currently imprisoned in Israel are freed. That's what Hezbollah leader Sheikh Hassan Nasrallah said Friday in his first public appearance since July. Nasrallah furthermore said that his guerrillas will give up their weapons only when Israel's threats end, and the Lebanese government is strong enough to protect the country, and he added that Hezbollah still has some 20,000 rockets left. And now concerning UNIFIL, I told you a couple of weeks ago, don't trust UNIFIL, the United Nations interim force in Lebanon. Their leading general, contrary to Israeli hopes that the new multinational force in Lebanon will engage and disarm Hezbollah, leading general of UNIFIL said that they will not immediately open fire on Hezbollah guerrillas, even if they're on their way to an attack or even if they're in the midst of an attack on Israel. What a wonderful peacekeeping force. The only thing Hezbollah understands is power. Israel must stop playing games with the United Nations and attack Hezbollah full force. Israel, you were foolish to give up your land. It's yours by promise of God, and it's yours by military action. You won it in the 1967 Six-Day War. You won it in the 1973 Yom Kippur War. It's your land. God gave it to you, and He's promised you much more than you have now. Now, concerning Pakistan and the United States, President George W. Bush met Friday with Pakistani President General Pervez Musharraf, who has claimed that after the September 11th attacks, a former State Department official pressured his Muslim nation into cooperating with the United States in combating terrorism. The intelligence director told me, "Be prepared to go back to the Stone Age," Musharraf said in an interview with 60 Minutes on television. And now concerning Egypt. Egypt will pursue nuclear energy. The United States ambassador says America has no problem aiding Egyptian nuclear program. President Hosni Mubarak on Thursday called for Egypt to pursue nuclear energy. As the U.S. ambassador said, Washington would be willing to help the Mideast ally develop a peaceful program. Damo Mubarak, the 42-year-old son of the president of Egypt, made the nuclear proposal during a speech on Tuesday at a conference of the ruling National Democratic Party. And now for investments. U.S. stocks were under pressure. They were kind of skitsy on Friday. Investors are wondering about that recent rally, and possibly could the economy be entering a major slowdown? I want to give you tip number one right here. Joy Global Incorporated. The symbol is JOYG. It's a Milwaukee-based company. Joy Global makes mining equipment, and they recently won an approval for a factory in China. They're trading now around $33, and they're trading near their 52-week low of $27. By the way, their 52-week high was $72. They have a good volume. Around 3 million shares a day are traded, so you don't have to worry about getting stuck if you want to unload a bunch of stock. Number two, Red Hat Incorporated. Symbol is RHAT, located in Raleigh, North Carolina. They're a maker of Linux open source software. Gross profits rose 46%. Because open source software code is freely shared, there are no licensing fees for the distribution of the open source software. But Red Hat sells its enterprise technologies, such as the company's operating system platform, Enterprise Linux, through subscriptions. They're trading currently at around $24.75. I would like it better, around $23. However, its 52-week low was $16.22, and the 52-week high was $32.48. So you might want to keep an eye on it, do some due diligence, and research into that. And now for prophecy. God said in Ezekiel chapter 38 in the Tanakh in the Old Testament, speaking to Russia, who will ally herself with Iran and with certain Eastern Bloc European countries and with Turkey, and they'll also make a compact with Ethiopia and Libya. He said to Russia, you'll come from your place out of the uttermost parts of the north, you and many people with you, a great company and a mighty army. You're going to come against my people Israel as a cloud to cover the land, and surely in that day there will be a great shaking in Eretz Israel. It shall happen in the latter days that I will bring you against my land, and the nations will know me. I will be sanctified in you. I will magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will make myself known in the eyes of many nations, and they will know that I am Yahweh. I am the Lord. Now concerning Ethiopia and Libya that we talked about, in Ezekiel 38 verse 5, the Hebrews referred to Ethiopia as Cush. It lies to the south of Egypt, and the inhabitants of Ethiopia were a Hamitic race from the sons of Noah, of Ham. They were divided into various tribes, of which the Sabaeans were the most powerful, and their history has been closely interwoven with that of Egypt. Shortly before the birth of Yeshua, or Jesus, there was a native dynasty of females in Ethiopia, holding the official title of Candace. They held sway in Ethiopia and even resisted the advance of the Roman armies. One of those was the Queen of Sheba, and you can read about her in Acts chapter 8, verse 27 of the New Testament of the Bible, the Brit Hadashah. And then concerning Libya, a country in the north of Africa, stretching along the Mediterranean, west of Egypt, and running somewhat back into the interior. And in Genesis chapter 10, verse 13 in the Torah, you can read about them, the country of the Ludim in northern Africa. So what does all this tell us? Russia will ally herself with Iran, several Eastern European countries, also Turkey, and they will make a compact with Ethiopia and Libya, and this great military alliance will come against Israel to attack her and to take her riches. That's the hook that God draws them therewith. However, God will defeat them with a super destruction, and you can read about that in Ezekiel chapter 38. My advice to Israel's military: stop playing with the United Nations. Stop playing, period. Start being more independent and attack completely the Hamas, Hezbollah, and those who are actively trying to destroy you. I told you in a recent show that you could not trust the United Nations. Now look what UNIFIL is saying. They will not automatically order the United Nations troops to open fire on Hezbollah guerrillas, even if the guerrillas are spotted on their way to the blue line to attack Israel. I also told you in a recent show you could not trust Hezbollah. Now they will not give up the 2 Israeli soldiers until they have 400 terrorists back. You have to be aggressive, Israel. God is on your side. Look what happened in the Six-Day War in 1967. Look what happened in the Yom Kippur War in 1973. My question to you, Israel, is this: are you on God's side? And now my advice to the government of Israel: get serious. You have to have a warrior mentality. You've been through the Holocaust already. Why do you want to go through it again? At least for your people. The government of Israel should help the people. Let your people win in warfare. Stop cajoling with liars and terrorists and those who hate you and want to destroy you. You can't dialogue with them. Get serious with God. Call on the Mashiach ben David. You don't have to apologize to anyone. You're a special people. Start acting like it. And now my advice to the United Nations. When I was a young boy, there was a newspaper delivered to our school called the Weekly Reader. It was a student newspaper. It showed a picture of a vacant lot in New York City where kids played baseball. It was just a sand lot. My advice to you, United Nations, is this: go home. Get out of the United States. Let the kids have their baseball field back. You're impotent. You're sterile. You don't stand for God, so God doesn't stand for you. Why do your member nation representatives assemble in the United States and then try to tell the United States what to do when the United States is for Israel, the people of God? This is Prince Hanley coming to you with 100,000 watts of pure love. You have a blessed time during the high holy days. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Avram, Yitzhak, Yaakov is for you, Israel. There's a promise in Jeremiah chapter 32:27, where God says, Behold, I am the God of all flesh. Nothing is too hard for me. And I want to give you another promise in Jeremiah chapter 33, verse 3. Call unto me, and I will answer you, and I will show you great and mighty things you don't know about. God is for you, Israel. Baruch haba b'shem Adonai. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Mashiach ben David, Haor Shel Israel. The Messiah is for you. Trust Him.